Hi everyone. Sorry, a little bit later than I said I would be, but I'm here. I am just coming on to talk about, well, mainly to. Oh, I just had a little glitch in the system there. I hope you heard that bit, but sorry, I'm a little bit late. Right, so I'm here to talk about procrastination, which is quite hard to say sometimes. Um, I'm coming on here to really relate things to being creative because that's my thing. I believe that we're all creative. It's like it's like an innate superpower that we all have as human beings. I mean, if you think of everything you can see, everything you can, touch, feel, smell, everything is being created. And we're creating all the time. We're creating the thoughts that we have about the world. We don't realize the amount that we're creating all the time. So when I'm talking about creativity, I'm not just talking about painting or writing or dancing or drawing, or I'm talking about like that essence of us, that is when we are in flow, if you know that expression, but when you feel like you're really channeling that inner part of yourself. So it may not be something traditionally creative. It could be, I don't know, it could be when you're with your kids. It could be when you're on a walk connecting with nature, but anything like that. So whilst these are relevant to having a creative project or doing something creative, they're also going to be relevant for anybody in any walk of life, in any job. You don't have to be a painter, a writer, a sculptor, whatever. So procrastination, I'm rolling my eyes because I'm doing it quite a bit at the moment because I'm trying to write my second novel, which I'm so even tired of hearing myself saying I'm trying to write my second novel because it's been going on for a while. So this is really relevant to me, and I'm going to try and use these use these tactics for myself. So procrastination is, I'm sure you know, but the delaying of a task, um, or prolonging of a task, just putting it off, basically. Even if really it has to be done. So, either you've got a deadline to reach, or, you can't get in your room for clutter. It has to be cleared. Um, you've got a job which demands you to submit something by a certain time, a deadline. It even like sometimes you're prolonging it, delaying it because it feels too big, but you know that it's going to make your life better if you do it, but you're not doing it. Um, Firstly, procrastination is a normal human trait. Um, if you give yourself a hard time about it, you will get yourself into a negative spiral of you're so rubbish. Why aren't you doing what you're meant to be doing? Um, you know, and that will make you feel worse about yourself and less able to achieve the thing that you want to achieve. So the first thing is stop giving yourself a hard time. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It might mean that you're distracted. Let's face it, there's a lot to distract us, in our daily phone. But yeah, it is very easy to find yourself in that sort of zone of Facebook or Instagram, just scrolling, looking at nothing really. Yeah, so you can get easily distracted these days. I'm going to talk about, actually tomorrow, I'm going to talk about a way of kind of trying to switch off and get into a better space where you're not constantly like ruled by your thoughts that are whizzing around all the time. So procrastination is different culturally as well. So, for example, where we live in the West, where I assume most of you are probably watching this from, may not be the case, but in the West, certainly, we do live in a very quick fix society. So we want to get things, get it done quick, boom, 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 everything has to be at top speed. So we are under that pressure to sort of do things quickly instead of mindfully. So it may not be one thing you're procrastinating. I knew I'd get the word wrong at some point. Procrastinating about. It might be a collection of things that have just built up and built up, and you're feeling really stressed about it, and you don't know where to start. In other cultures, sometimes things take a very, very long time because there's not that rush, and also the emphasis is on getting the job done well. Instead of as quickly as possible. So there are also deeper reasons why we procrastinate. So often with doing something creative, we are afraid of it not being any good. We're afraid sometimes if we're not doing that creative thing as a job and it's something that we do for pleasure, we don't feel we deserve that pleasure. There's a lot being spoken about self-care at the moment, and I might actually do a live on self-care anyway if you're not too bored of everybody talking about it. But to do something that brings you pleasure it's what life is all about. It's not it's nothing to be ashamed of. Like it is, it is why else are we here, kind of thing. Why else are we here other than to enjoy our lives? So maybe fear of failure. It may be that you think you don't deserve to do that thing because you've got a million and one other things to do that are probably for other people's well-being, or you don't actually deserve to sit down for 10 minutes and I don't know, write, or try a new recipe because now you've got to get the tea on the table for the kids or whatever. So it may be fear of failure. It may be also it feels too hard, like it feels like a mountain to climb. It's just you don't know how to start. I think I'm getting that with my novel, although I'm nearly halfway through, but it just still feels like I'm climbing up that mountain and I can't even see the top. Definitely you may fear that you're not good enough. That's certainly with creative things, because it's something that you often with something creative you're going to share it with people and you're worried that they are not going to like it or they're going to judge you, or so it's easier not to do it. And your brain is amazing at keeping you safe. That's its job. So if you've been all right up till now, like I'm okay, like I'm all right up till now having not written my second novel. So my brain is saying, well, you don't even need to write a second novel, you're absolutely fine as you are, you're safe. It doesn't mean you're content necessarily or happy. It doesn't care about those things. It cares about you being safe. So it won't naturally push you to doing things that are out of your comfort zone, that feel hard. So how do we tackle procrastination? I love this expression which I came across. I started doing some coaching, like having some coaching a couple of years ago, and the lady Joanna Martin said, eat the elephant. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you have to break the task down into small steps. One bite at a time. Like, what can you do today to get a little bit closer to the thing that you've got to achieve? If we're looking at this can apply to different situations. For example, people who are depressed, everything seems very, very difficult. And even the tiniest thing, like that would seem, second nature to us, like getting out of bed or having a shower, seems huge. So one thing that people can do in that situation is break it down into the tiniest of steps. Right, I managed to get, I got out of bed for 5 minutes today, So apply that kind of baby steps mentality to what you need to do. So maybe you want to write 100 words today. 100 words is nothing really. So you stop thinking about whether it's any good. You just write it. You just do it. It's done. Boom. You'll feel so much better. And your brain will start to realize that actually that wasn't so hard and I'm still safe. So I'll be safe next time I do it. Also, you've probably heard of SMART goals. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. So specific, like specify what exactly you want to achieve. How are you going to measure that? How are you going to measure it with like how much you've done or when you've done it by? Achievable, like don't make it huge. I'm not going to write my novel in the next month. I know that, make it achievable. I might write it in, well, actually, I've got a deadline, so I've got to write it by September. But, make it an achievable goal. Relevant, so relevant to your vision, which is the vision of having this thing done, completed. So relevant to that. And time-based is really good. So, for example, these lives, I've been procrastinating about going live on Facebook. I went live on Friday and I said, right, I'm going to be live at 11 o'clock every day next week. I've got to then. I've got to do it. So you can tell somebody that you're going to do it. That's quite a good tactic because actually you can set yourself deadlines, but you don't always achieve them. Go on Facebook and say, I'm going to do this. And then you'll have people going, why aren't you doing it? So yeah, SMART goals are always a good thing. But if you look at your life as a whole and you're procrastinating about most things in your life, it might be time to really look at your life and think, right, what actually in my life gives me pleasure? What do I enjoy? Because if you're procrastinating about everything in your life, that is not going to feel like a very positive existence, and you're not going to feel very happy, I imagine. So that might be, a time of reassessment and a time of looking at your life and thinking, okay, am I procrastinating actually because I'm not doing the things that I enjoy? Like my job, I hate my job, I can't find anything. By all means, try and find before you give anything up, try and find the love in there, try and find the joy. But if you really can't find the joy, it might be time to just go, okay, well, I don't actually enjoy doing that, so maybe it's time to stop. And it doesn't have to be as big as your job. It could just be you cook the dinner every day and you can't stand cooking. I'm not talking from personal experience, of course. So try and change that. Try and change that somehow. Because it's a heavy feeling, I think, when you're procrastinating. It feels like you just can't achieve that thing and it feels so big, and it's not a great thing to be carrying around all the time. But do not give yourself a hard time about it. Another great thing to do, and it applies to all things in life really, but particularly like if you're wanting to create something that is going to be an end product, focus on the end result. Like, how are you going to feel when you've done it? Visualize. For me, like, I'm visualizing holding my book in my hand, the finished book with the cover and everything. You can go further, you can visualize like getting a prize for it or something. See that painting on the wall in a gallery, you're painting, or just on your wall at home. There's so many things that you could achieve, and you can achieve them. You've got to believe that you can achieve them. But have that vision in it at the end, have that vision of the end of this process, and keep going back to visualizing the end of it. How are you going to feel like when you email that report that your boss has been after? How are you going to feel when you hear that song that you've written, like playing back, or you're playing it to your friends, or it could be anything. Live that feeling and then take the baby steps, because the desire to do it, to achieve it, to have it completed has got to be greater than the desire to stay where you are. So you can create that, you can make it greater by really living the end vision. and enjoying the end vision and making your brain see that that's already real because you've already imagined it. So that's how you're going to feel. So, do it. Just do it. But baby steps. And do remember that sometimes you do need to stop. So stopping and waiting for guidance is not the same as procrastination. Sometimes we're so caught up in the things that we have to do that we actually can't see, the truth, and we can't actually see or why we're doing it, and we can't see the joy, we can't feel the joy, and we can't see the end result. So sometimes you do need to stop and leave it if you can, and then go away and go back to it. So don't give yourself a hard time about doing that. Give yourself permission to stop, but then know how to get your foot on the pedal again and get moving. I've really gone on a bit. I didn't realise I'd be on this long, but I really hope that that's helpful for you. And I'll be on tomorrow talking about sort of how to create a space in your life really for ideas to come, and how to push away some of those distractions so that you feel clearer. You have more clarity, and you can make space for inspiration as well, which is really important in being creative. All right, so I hope you have a great day. I'm going to follow my own advice now, and I'm going to write down a goal for today for my novel, and I've got a few other things to do, and hopefully I will, by the end of it, feel very good and that I've achieved my SMART goals for the day. So take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.